Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin, and this is Michelle Ronquillo.
Hello, everybody.
And the subject today is manipulating spiritual images. And that is what we're all doing that to a degree all the time. Um, and when dreams are very much related to images, and when you're doing the creative process, you're going to manipulate images to try to figure out how to create certain things using the
Yes.
imagination. And
Einstein says imagination is greater than knowledge. And it because of that spiritual power that it holds.
yes, and I always say the proof is in what results from the imagination.
Exactly.
And the spiritual, anything you imagine, any vision, any image you imagine and you put any energy into, manifests itself in the spiritual. It's almost like you're creating something. Like in this reality, you can create all kinds of amusements, you can create all kinds of artwork, you can create all kinds of things.
Yes.
It doesn't mean they're effective, but you can create them. And in the spiritual, you can create all kinds of wonderful things, but it doesn't mean that they're of any real value when it comes to the serious problems of the reality we exist in.
Right.
But you can create them and you can manipulate them. And if you're a real good artist, you can actually create very pleasing images, and you can actually create images that relate, that help people to see more clearly the reality around them.
Yes.
And to understand a little bit more of what's going on within themselves.
I think that it's important to remember that while you're noticing you're a creator and you're manifesting things that you create, to really focus on what is important in your life that's going to make the biggest difference with your creations.
Well, and some people that are not, that may discount how valuable our reality is, and discount all the people with serious problems in this reality as that's not that important. Those people can get to the point where they think they're creating all these wonderful things in their reality, and oh, I'm really good. I can do these images, and then I can have these dreams and amazing dreams where I can do all these wonderful great things, and I can go all these unusual places and get but all the stuff that you're doing, is it practical? Is it going to bring any results that count? And I'm always going to, because I've struggled to survive in this world, and I know the serious problems that exist in the world, and I know that it takes a lot of um, good spiritual energy and constructive spiritual energy in order to make a difference. I have a problem with people that just think that imagination alone is enough, and that their imagination can, take precedence over the reality around them and the importance of it.
Yes, people really get stuck in themselves and get closed into a tracked mind where you're manipulating yourself into that addiction type feel good spiritual energies. So when you're creating, yes, it feels good. Yes, we can go in and dip into the blissfulness that it feels. But when you get lost and you lose time of what your goals and dreams and focuses are supposed to be about.
Because the imagination makes images. The images become alive in the spiritual, but the imagination um, can be used to do great things in this world, to make a big difference in the
Yes.
reality we share, the serious reality that a lot of people are really struggling with and challenged with, and that you should have empathy for.
Yes.
Make a difference in that reality, or you just use your imagination as some kind of game. And to make yourself feel good because of it. And I know with myself, when I was younger and not as mature, I would get caught up in it. And then I'd catch myself and I'd say, hey, I got all these serious problems. My life is a struggle. How is this going to actually help me to make, to make my life better? Because it has to be made life better. I haven't been one of these entitled, indulged people that happen to have talents and ability to easily work in this world. I've had to struggle, so I expect the type of spirituality I have to be constructive, be serious, and to make a difference in this world, and be good enough to make a difference in this world. And that's what Positive Vibes Enterprise is all about. It's about spiritual theories and techniques that will make a difference in this world, that are good enough to make a difference in this world.
And that is actually in action as we speak. Everything that we walk, we talk. Because it's always better to experience and share than to talk some flighty that you don't know what you're doing. But when you're walking what we're experiencing, we're able to invite other people into experience for themselves. And the solidness of your imagination and the solidness of the things that you create need to be filled with purpose and reality-based spiritual knowledge.
And your energy has an impact on situations. And if somebody says, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and all that kind of stuff, show me.
Exactly.
Let's see what you can do. And then my skeptical energy is going to come their way, because I'm a very skeptical into hard evidence, into something that really works. They're going to find themselves struggling because he's negative energy. He's terrible because he expects me to come up with something that actually works in this real world. He doesn't seem to understand that when I have these dreams and I astral project into these amazing lands and all this other stuff, how amazing and wonderful it is, and how great it makes me feel. He doesn't seem to get caught up in this. Well, you see, with me, my Stoic diet and all, I'm not much into bliss. I just like to feel good that I'm contributing something of value to this world, and it's nothing greater than to have that feeling I'm doing something to make this world a better place, that I'm helping people, that I'm helping, beyond yourself. It's not all about you. It's about the world we exist in, about the common reality we share, and about the oneness that goes way beyond just the oneness of being stuck in yourself, but the oneness of all that we have to create in a world that has so much in the direction of unique individuals. And of course, I'm an advocate, being very unique myself, for more oneness in the direction of appreciating the uniqueness of people, especially the most unique people, because the more you can connect and understand those that are the most unique, or the most unique qualities in yourself, the more oneness you can create. And oneness does not just happen. Oneness is something you have to create spiritually.
Yes. You have to feel it from the inside. You have to know what you're looking at, that temple. And you have to understand that it is always in your best interest to speak what you act and act what you speak. Because in that sense, you can be naked in the spiritual understanding that you are true of what you're saying. There's nothing fake about it. And that's what's really important that we need in this world, is people that will not open their mouth until they have some experience, and to then speak out and share with the world of what's going on. Look inside and get the honing in on what is needed for your spiritual strength inside, and then share. But you know what? Sharing to others really help when you're even working on yourself. So that reflection is always great too. But always be mindful of what you're talking about.
Yes, some people have put in a lot more effort and work than other people. Some people tend to say, well, time is not that important. We just live in the present.
Yeah.
And the thing that you have to understand is you have to have that kind of energy that is always thinking and terms of consequences, long-term consequences. And that's what training has all about. You can't become really strong and really effective spiritually if you don't put in the time and energy over time into it. So we're not all as capable spiritually because we haven't all developed our spiritual muscles the same way. It's like exercise or any kind of training. You get better at it as you do more of it. We're not born with perfect intuition or psychic ability. Some have some potential, but you have to do the work.
Yes.
And over time, it takes time.
Training.
It's sort of like you
focus.
It's not like you start off the new year and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this and that," and then you're not. Then you don't do it.
Right.
I'm starting a running program now, and I'm on day 2.
We're really proud of Tom. He's running. It's wonderful.
Meaning I stayed away from it a while for reasons that have to do with developing an astrology system and staying into purely spiritual type exercise and meditative type exercise, but I have to come out and get my feisty energy and connect with regular people.
Feisty lately. But you know what's beautiful about this is that we always evolve. Even to the top of when we stop, and then we adjust, we focus, and then we move on again in evolvement. And it's beautiful to watch, even at any higher level, any lower level of coming up in a spiritual sense. It is so beautiful to see people going and doing the habits to spiritually evolve themselves.
And not everybody is meant to have their vocation as a spiritual expert, as a professional in the spiritual. There are other professions. We need all sorts of professions.
All kinds of everyone.
And people, I'm not very good at a lot of things, so I really appreciate people that are good at things that I am not good at. You get it when you become a specialist. It's sort of like when dogs evolved, they became very specialized, and as a result, they became less wild. They were more cooperative. They were more willing to pay attention to people and things. They became less violent, less crazy in some ways. And that's what happens. As you become more specialized, you actually evolve into a less violent, more appreciative person of other people's abilities.
Correct.
Because of the isolation. The isolation makes you appreciate that you have to work with other people because you can't survive alone because you don't have all the abilities all in oneself, as a wolf has, where the dogs evolved from.
Yes, I was raised by wolves. But the most important part of what Tom is saying is that everyone has strengths and weaknesses inside of them. And some people's strengths are other people's weaknesses, and some people's weaknesses are other people's strengths. So it is beautiful when we can connect in a like-minded sense and create together our strengths and weaknesses and balance each other out and feed each other, give and receive that equal spiritual energy.
And that's the thing, imagination and images. We have to use that in a way to work with other people. And of course, that's what I'm talking about, is a specialization. When you become specialized, you're not going to be stuck in yourself, because how can you be stuck in yourself when you need other people so badly to work with, not only to share your abilities, but to utilize their abilities because you lack in those areas.
Exactly.
So it's sort of like getting that balance that you get, and that's how you avoid delusions, is by being connected with people outside yourself and getting a taste of their reality and understanding and have empathy for the fact that they have a reality too that's different from yours in some ways, in the direction of how they see it. I mean, we live in the same reality, but people see different parts of it to different degrees based on how different they are.
Right. Every reality for an individual can be like-minded with somebody else, but it will always be that individual's perceptions based on environments, different things that you were raised around, or belief systems. But I think that the most important part about images is not take them too seriously when it comes to things like movies or different beliefs or fads or anything that you can get caught up with not understanding the reality in what you are seeing.
Yeah, yeah, beliefs and images, they're like tools, and they have to
Yeah,
work effectively in this
right,
reality.
right.
Or what point is having them?
Really,
So why
yes.
waste your time? You get skeptical Tom here.
Yeah, yeah. Feisty Tom, the
Yeah,
runner.
the runner, yeah, the runner, the person that has always wanted result and
Yeah.
is always willing to demonstrate. Um,
Actions speak louder than words.
In other words, I'm very much into showing people. When I talk about something, if they challenge me, I love it. I love people to
Yes.
challenge me because that's sort of like the competitive athlete part of me in there that, wants to show how good I am at something, how,
Yes, exactly.
share my expertise. I love it. And the more pressure put on me, that's almost like my spiritual training. If you put the pressure on me, I will deliver. And that's what my spiritual training does. It makes me able to deliver.
Yes, very much so. And another good point is to always get deep confirmations of things in the spiritual. Trust your intuition. Things that you ask, if you're on the right track, usually you are, because people that aren't on the right track don't ask that question. So things like understanding where you can ask for deep confirmation from the universe, from the spiritual energies, and you will get that, and you will get images. See, these are the types of helping images that will, do the best for you, giving you deep confirmations in reality to build the confidences, to trust your gut, to make moves that sometimes people are too scared to do.
I mean, you do the meditative exercises in the training in
Yes.
order to increase your ability to tune in spiritually and help your intuition along. But you
Yes.
have to use your intuition in the real world in order to build up confidence in it and to see how well it works and to trust it because
Yes.
in this world, it's a very precarious world. It's all very hard to figure it out. And if you don't have your intuition letting you know the danger here, the trouble here, or you might get injured or something might go
Yeah.
wrong, um, it, it, it's just the world just won't function very well. So much of this world is based on feel.
Yes.
For
Emotion and passion.
having
Emotion and
a
passion.
sense of
Yes.
feel for things. Because you say, I'm training and I'm running. What am I going by? I'm going by my feel for reading my body and knowing I can run this hard and I won't get hurt. If I run a little harder, I might get hurt. But it's not something I can create a formula for. It's just something that I have to have a feel for. And
Right.
so many things you have to have a feel for. How hard do I screw something in or manipulate something? Because a lot of times you overdo it, you break something or you mess it
Yes.
up. You underdo it, it doesn't work either. It just so you have to get that fine tuning of knowing exactly how to have the right touch, and that's
Yes.
what intuition is: having that right touch, that right sense for where you are at and what you need to do and how hard you need to push and being careful, to do it properly with the right intensity
Yes.
and um,
Look
effectiveness.
look for also that evidence that is out there in the spiritual, deep confirmation of truth, and the evidence that the spiritual energies are pulling you to law of attraction. Once you change your perceptions, you can change.
That has to do with like you observe. You
Yes.
observe things, and there
Yes.
are all kinds of signs of confirmation that tell you you're on the
Yes.
right track. But you're not going to notice them unless you look for
That's
them.
right. And that's a great point. That is a great point. Start looking for those things, those stillness confirmations that builds that gut intuition.
And yeah, and that's what spiritual training should be all about:
Yes.
developing a connection with reality so that you will notice things that are relevant even the small things are relevant. You'll notice that which counts, and you will not notice that which is delusional or will get you off track or will mess with your mind and make you so that you make mistakes because you're somewhere else when you should be present in the moment and dealing with what's in front of you.
That's right.
This is Positive Vibes Enterprise. The subject today has been manipulating spiritual images. We may have gone a little off track for a while, but I think it helps sometimes to get perspective to go a little bit to the side and then come back.
If you have any questions, please leave them for us.
And please subscribe.
Subscribe, and thank you for all the ones that have subscribed. We love you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.